All right. Hey, everybody. So I have on here with me Clay Lawrence. If you guys don't know who Clay Lawrence is, he is the owner of Review Harvest. He's been doing reviews for over 300 different Poop Scoop companies now, in addition to tons of other companies, but he's definitely the industry favorite. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce you, Clay. What can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So I would say about in college, I found this software called High Level. Some of y'all are probably familiar with it. These are what the awards are for behind it. Started Review Harvest on High Level and white labeling High Level to help Poop Scoopers and other businesses get more Google reviews. And then, we had so much pickup and traction for it, we decided to build out our own custom solution for it. So our own custom software. And so now we built out our own custom software. We've helped at this point, all time, I think we're still serving about over 300, around 300 Poop Scoopers, actively getting them reviews, but we've helped probably hundreds more in the process. And yeah, no, just kind of was doing the whole marketing agency thing. And I was just really spread thin, doing a lot of different things, really just doing anything that a business owner would pay me for. I mean, I did some weird stuff. And then I was like, whoa, they all like this reviews thing. And so I just really focused on that. And so, yeah, here we are today.
Yeah, I swear every time anybody asks about reviews, your name is always the one that comes up. So I'm glad I was able to get you on the call. I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about Review Harvest. So if anyone is thinking about it, they have the chance to get to know you a little bit before making that call. If anybody on the call or who jumps on, if you have any questions, you can just post them in the chat. But yeah, if you could start out, I just have a few quick questions before I let you jump in. But why are reviews important, and how have you, particularly with scoopers, how have you seen reviews help your clients?
Yeah, for sure. So when it comes to Google's algorithm in terms of ranking on Google and where people find you, it's pretty simple, actually. Like, people like to overcomplicate it, and you can make it as complicated as you want to and get as deep into the weeds as you want to. But really, all you have to tell Google is you have to tell them what you do, where you do it, and that you're good at it. Right? If you do those three things consistently enough, Google will start ranking you for that you consistently tell them that you're a poop scooper in Boise, Idaho, and you tell them that you're good at it. And how do you tell them that you're good at it? Well, that comes down to reviews, right? And not only do reviews tell Google that you're a good business, that they should rank, but also those reviews can include photos and context and keywords that also show Google even more what you do and where you do it. Like, hey, I'm located here in Boise. They came and scooped my yard for my 2 golden retriever dogs. It was amazing. So now it's a review showing Google that you're good at what you do, and it's also telling them what you do and where you do it. And so those are kind of the 3 most basic ways to break down SEO and ranking up the top, because when people do type in poop scooping or pet waste removal or stuff like that, you want to pop up in the top 3 businesses there, because that's what's called the Google Map Pack. Anything under the 4th, they have to click on more businesses and go find you elsewhere. And so those are, free ranking spots there where you don't have to pay. And that's just for the ranking side of getting more exposure, right? Not only are we able to do that, but we're also able to increase the conversion rate and increase the attractiveness of your business compared to other businesses, right? So if we're comparing one business to another, and another one has 300 more reviews than them, and the other one has a 4.2 rating, you're probably going to choose the business with 300 more reviews and a better rating. And then kind of the last piece of the puzzle is we're able to integrate into your CRMs and automate the entire process, from requesting reviews, responding to your reviews, following up with customers that don't leave a review, repurposing reviews onto your social media and onto your website. We're able to automate the entire thing. So we like to tell our clients that not only do we increase your awareness, like the 3 A's, we increase your awareness, we also increase your attractiveness. So you're ranking higher on Google with the awareness. You're more attractive with the more reviews compared to your competitors. And then lastly, we can automate, right? So those 3 A's, we're able to save you time and make you more money. And so that's a little bit why reviews are important. And I think you asked a great question earlier before we started recording about when does it make sense to start getting reviews, right? And it's a question that a lot of people ask. And for the most part, I would say if I owned a poop scooping business tomorrow, the very first thing I would do is I would probably go scoop most of the people on my street in exchange for a review. I would text my friends, my family, anybody that knows me as a person, ask for a character review. And probably by the end of the week, I would have 30 or 40 reviews. Like, that's how quickly I would emphasize getting 30 or 40, because really until you get 10, there's not a specific number that you need to hit that just like unlocks, whoa, all of a sudden your phone starts ringing. It's pretty relative to your area. except for the number 10. For some reason, they've done reports on it. Like when you're under 10 reviews, you're really not popping up. And so, like I said, I would get 10 reviews by the end of the first day, getting my friends and family to leave me a character review, then exchanging free scoops, just like in my neighborhood, for anybody that would leave me a review, because those are so valuable. They'll last there for years and years. But the thing about when to start is that you want to think about it as a flywheel. So the more reviews you have, the higher you'll show up on Google, and the more people will choose to work with you. And so the more customers you get, right? And the more customers you get, the more reviews you get. And so the more reviews you get, the more customers you get, and it just goes round and round and round. So the sooner you can get that review flywheel turning, the sooner your business can start to see exponential growth instead of just like linear growth where you're paying $5, or you're paying $20 for a Facebook lead and hoping to get convert them into a paying customer. And then the last little piece here, and then I will cease the rant, is that a lot of you are in an interesting position. This industry is in a very interesting place because the level of awareness for homeowners is pretty low compared to other industries, right? If you tell your random friend that you're starting a poop scooping business, there's a good chance they're gonna be like, what the heck are you talking about? I didn't even know that was a business, right? And so there are, there's probably tens or hundreds of millions of homeowners in America that still don't know this service even exists. So it's the good news and bad news. Bad news is that means that not as many people are typing in poop scooping service as typing in lawn care or plumbing or HVAC, whatever, right? Yet. The good news is that there's a lot of poop scooping companies that have never focused on Google and have never done anything, and that if you start to get reviews now, focus on your website now, rank better now, as this industry starts to explode and continues to explode, which I'm guessing if anybody's listening to this and they have a poop scoop business, I would imagine you're pretty bullish on this industry. When this industry explodes, the people who are going to be getting a lot of the leads from Google are not going to be the ones that just started focusing on Google that month or that week, right? They're going to be the ones that have been focused on their website and their reviews and their Google business profile years and years previously. And so it's the bad news is that you might not get the most amount of calls ever from Google right now. That's why Facebook marketing and interruption-based marketing is so important to increase that awareness. But the good news is that if you start focusing on it now, and depending on your area, certain areas have a lot of search volume already. But if you start focusing on it now, you'll be in a great position for the long haul. So sorry, I think I answered like 4 questions in one there. But
yeah, no, that's true. I think that's a great idea, especially when people are just starting out. There's really small and they don't have customers to ask. That's actually a really good idea. For anybody mention that, but I think that's really good. Just ask any of your neighbors who have a dog, do a free service for them, give a review. Yeah, that's great advice.
And Google says anyone who has interacted with your business has the grounds to leave you a review. So as a pet waste removal company, you are your business. Your face is your business. So pretty much anyone you've interacted with, especially your family, has the grounds to leave you, or friends and family have the grounds to leave you a character review. I wouldn't tell them to go say, hey, they did a great job scooping my poop. I would just say, Clay with such and such is an incredible, Clay with the name of your business is an incredible person. He does what he says he's going to do, has great character, honest, etc. And you don't have to worry about like lying, because they're not lying, and then obviously the ones with the free scoops, you actually have served them. So
yeah, I think that's really good advice. So if you haven't done that, definitely do that. Probably people who are jumping on this call have already seen a bunch of different services for getting your reviews. Some really expensive, thousands of dollars, others, a lot more affordable. But a lot of them do the exact same thing. What is it that makes Review Harvest different? And obviously there's a bunch of scoopers who use it, and there's a reason for that. So what's the reason that everybody loves Review Harvest?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So we've a lot of the stuff in our software has been built out specifically for pet waste removal companies, right? So one just a very niche example is that we have what's called a 30-day cooldown period. What that means is that if we add a customer to request a review and they don't leave a review, and then you service them again next week in Sweep and Go or in Jobber, and they're added to Review Harvest, we're not going to keep bugging them that week, right? We give them at least 30 days to cool down before we start requesting. If they're still an active customer, we'll request a review again. And so that's just like one example of a small feature that we built out for pet waste removal companies. But when it comes to like the main differentiator between us and everybody else in the review space, I'll just go ahead and share my screen here and kind of show you the proof is in the pudding here. You can see this is an example of the personalized images that we send out. So this is a pet waste removal company in Indiana. And you can see you can upload a photo of your team with your logo in the back of your truck, all that sort of stuff. And it auto-populates the customer's name on the review. So if you work with Jessica, right? Jessica is going to get a photo of the technician, the owner of the business, whoever it is, and her name's going to be on it. And what that does is it gets their attention. They're like, oh, that's cool. How'd they do that? That's pretty nifty, right? And from there, you have a much higher chance of getting them a review. The second piece, another main reason people work with us is just the review conversion rate. So, this nifty image here gets one of the highest review conversion rates. We've gone against Nice Job. We've gone against Jobber Reviews. We've gone against people who set it up high level themselves, and we beat them every single time in terms of conversion rate. And so people that want the most amount of reviews from their customers, typically will use us. And then we have our software is so simple. We built it with all due respect to most people. We built it so that a kindergartner could come in here and click around, and so you can control how long we wait to request a review after we get the data from Sweep and Go or Jobber. Integrating one of those tools is just as easy as clicking on Add Integration, clicking on Connect Sweep and Go, and kind of rocking and rolling from there. You just grab an API key or et cetera. And then with Jobber, it's just a login, right? So it's a little even easier. You can adjust how aggressive or how non-aggressive you want to be in terms of the follow-ups here, right? If you want to follow up 3 times, and these are dynamic follow-ups, right? So we're checking, have they left a review? Have they clicked the link? Have they responded? We're checking all those things to follow up accordingly. And another thing here is our smart messaging, right? So we sit on specifically for pet waste removal companies, we have the ability to itemize the data based off of what main business category people are in. And so we've got really good data as to what messages convert well for poop scoopers, how long you should wait in between messages, what the follow-up messages should be. And so if you turn on smart messaging, just by default, we'll have the highest converting scripts in your account. Another thing with poop scoopers is that we have enough data to know that in general, you don't want to send out the review request right away, depending on what your trigger is, right? So if you're adding contacts to Review Harvest when the job's closed or the job is billed, and if you're billing right after or whatever it is, you don't want to request that review until they've seen the yard, because we have the data to see that basically if they don't click that link within the first, I think it's something like 70 or 80% of the link clicks that we send out from the text come within the first 15 minutes. And so if they don't click that link within the first 15 minutes because they haven't seen the yard yet, they don't know if it's clean, they're not going to leave you a review. They're still at work, right? And so we want to make sure we send out that review request link via text and email once they've actually seen the yard. That's why we'll wait there. And then we have your automated review responses that we take care of for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It sounds, just like a human was responding to your reviews for you. We have the reviews that you can embed onto your site, the pop-up one in the bottom corner. This one goes on the review page. They can expand really large. And then our social posting feature. A lot of people love this because we have the ability to post stories and feeds, and these are completely customizable. So we built out a lightweight version of Canva where you can change colors, you can add photos, everything here is adjustable. If you wanted to add your logo, you could go ahead and add a placeholder here, and we could just add, obviously I'm not going to add the Review Harvest logo, and I would need to remove the background of it, but you could add logos here. So it's totally customizable. So you don't have to worry about, for example, other review softwares will just post the same photo over and over again, or they'll post 5-star reviews that just say great service, right? You don't want a 5-star review that just says great job to be posted on your Facebook. So we can dynamically make sure that we're choosing reviews that actually have at least a certain number of characters. They're obviously 5 stars, all that sort of stuff, so that only high quality reviews are being posted.
So yeah, some people use Go High Level for some of this stuff. What is the difference between this and Go High Level? Because some people might be thinking, I'm already paying for Go High Level, I can just build this out myself. So why choose this over Go High Level? I know there's some key differences.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to the social media posting templates on High Level, basically everything that you get in High Level, you can add a background image. I'll just replicate it here. It doesn't even look as good as this, but you basically add a background image and the review is going to be this large regardless. And so you have to figure out how to make a background image look good with this, right? And so you can make it shuffle between certain things. But the biggest problem that I found with high level reviews, social media posting on High Level, is that they post every single 5-star review. And we want to have some dynamic logic to know, should we post this review or not? And so we have that baked in automatically, so you don't have to worry about it, so that if someone just says, great job, that's a silly post on Facebook, right? But if they said, I had a wonderful experience with this company, the company was professional, helpful, and went above and beyond to meet my needs, all that sort of stuff, it's a little bit better review, right? And so we have a lot more flexibility in terms of how these look. Also, we create the templates for you. So he built his own out here, but typically we build out our own templates. And then we give you a lot more control into what reviews you want posted and not posted, right? So we have this queue here where you can see the next review to be posted is Tara, but if I want to post Julie's review next, I can just drag Julie's review up here. If I only want Julie's to go on the story and not the feed, I can just deselect that, right? If I wanted to like make sure that, this wasn't posted at all, just deselect them both and then it won't be posted, right? And then you can scroll through all of your old reviews and add any of your old reviews that you love to your queue. And then also when you're going through your reviews here, these will automatically link to contacts if the names match. But if you like a certain review, you just click on share. And then you can go ahead and shuffle through the templates that you have. So it's like, all right, I really love this template right here. And I want it to be a story post instead, actually. So I'm going to choose this template right here. And then, oh, shoot, looks like Stephanie misspelled something or the review was too long or something like that. You can come right here and just change what the review says. That way, if they said something wrong or they misspelled something or it's really long and you want to find the right spot of it, you can do that. And then from there, you just click on post now and it'll automatically post to your social media. And so you have a lot more flexibility over the social posting side of things and making sure that things look good on your social media for this kind of supplementary social media strategy.
Have you heard from any of your clients how that social media posting has helped?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that people come to us and they realize is that they're like, oh, I never realized that my social media followers didn't know how many reviews we had, right? Because we think it's like a business, we're like, oh, I've got 500 reviews on Google. Everybody knows that. But that's just not the case, right? Nobody actually is going to your Google Business profile and looking at your reviews unless they're looking for your service, right? And so probably 99% of your followers, depending on the business, I guess, and like how many of your customers follow you, but probably most of your followers have no idea how many reviews you have. And so let's say you're good at social media, or let's say all your friends and family follow you or your acquaintances follow you and stuff like that. And what a lot of people will do is that it'll be posted on their business page, but then they'll share it to their personal page. So now all of their acquaintances, all of their friends and family that maybe didn't know they had a poop scooping business or didn't know they had a good one can see people raving about them, right? It's really funny how like as business owners, we think that people know a lot more about our business than they actually do because we're just in it all day. It's like the age old, I think it was Henry Ford who was like, hey, he's walking by the marketing department. He's like, hey, quit running that ad. I'm so tired of it. That ad sucks. Like it's too old. I'm so tired of it. And the guy's like, we haven't even launched it yet. It's like we just think everybody knows what's going on in our head all the time and how great our business is, but they don't. We have to let people know.
Yeah, thanks for giving a rundown of Review Harvest. So there's a lot that you guys have set up that goes into Review Harvest when they're getting it put together. It's pretty easy to get set up, but like if someone's ready to go ahead and sign up with, what are the steps with that? How much does it cost?
Sure. I think that's probably the biggest differentiator between us and other softwares as well, is that like we want more than anything to give you a very white glove, personalized, one-on-one onboarding experience, right? If you're going to try to do this in high level, like you got to watch some YouTube videos and figure it out yourself and install a snapshot or do whatever you got to do to figure it out. And it's going to take you probably a day or two, and you got to get your own phone number verified and all that fun stuff. If you work with us, go to the website, start your free trial. It starts at $99 a month. Most poop scoopers are on that plan. From there, you will book onto me or my wife's calendar. We'll hop on a 20-30 minute call. We'll set up social media posting templates for you. We'll help you integrate your CRM, Jobber, and Sleep and Go, really just a few clicks. And then a lot of times within 30 minutes, you're all set up. And you'll be getting reviews probably by the end of the next day.
Okay, awesome. And then, yeah, as far as cost goes, or would you have something else?
Yeah, I was just saying, so 10-day free trial starts at $99 a month. That's what most people are on, the $99 a month plan when it comes to poop scooping. But the biggest thing is that review reactivation. It's the first thing we do. And so we grab a list of all your previous customers in Jobber and Sleep and Go, wherever it is. We can just import those automatically. And then we slowly reach out to all those previous customers. So we've slowed this down even more now. I don't know if people have noticed reviews going missing. It's a big deal. Google's taking out a bunch of people's reviews. What we're seeing is that if you make that review increase look like a spike and then drop right back down, those reviews are going to be filtered a lot more harshly. We've known that in practice for years. So we've always, since we started. So we've always tried to make it pretty slow, like 4 to 6 weeks. But even now we're going even slower because Google updated their terms in April saying that when they see a big increase of reviews, they're noting it as rating manipulation and they're filtering those reviews out more harshly. And so now we've built in our own, instead of you having to figure out like, okay, how many review requests should I send out each day in whatever other software you're using, or high level, or whatever review software you're using. I put together a Google spreadsheet that we use where it's like, okay, here's how many reviews you've been getting every month, because that's a big deal. Like if you're getting 0 and you go to 100, that's like, but if you're getting 50 a month and you go to 100, it's not as big deal, right? And so like, how many previous reviews are you getting every week, month, 6 months, a year? How many previous customers do we have that we can reactivate? What's the expected review conversion rate? And then from there, it gives us a formula of how many review requests we should send out each day to make sure that we do no more than 3 to 4x your existing weekly volume. And then whatever we do, we can sustain for typically 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. Because you don't want it, you don't want it to be a spike and then like 2 weeks later dumps down, right? We want it to be more of like a hump where it's like it just goes up and then it just kind of stays there for a while, right? And then eventually we're going to run out of your previous customers to request reviews from, but then by then we should be getting all your new customers in, and we can kind of keep that higher review rate going on down the line.
How many actual reviews from a reactivation sequence or even from new customers can people expect when they sign up?
Yeah, of course. So typically what we see is on the review reactivation, we see anywhere between like 10 to 25% review conversion rate. It's very, very dependent on how long you've been in business, how active you are in the community, how happy your customers are, what part of the world you're in. Like if you're in downtown New York, it's going to be a lot lower than if you're in small town Southwest Georgia. All those sort of things kind of play into it, but typically we'll see anywhere between 10 and 25%. We have people that get 50%, but that's just for the review reactivation. Then when it comes to requesting reviews right after service, right after you got a new customer, stuff like that, we're typically seeing anywhere from 25 to 35% of those customers leave you a review for pet waste removal, for the pet waste removal industry in general, right? And what happens as well is that a lot of times, y'all are recurring service businesses, and so it's not unusual to see a business that's been in business for a while, poop scooping, whatever it is, and they'll actually have more 5-star Google reviews than they have recurring customers. Because what happens is that if someone's a recurring customer for you 6 months, they probably were happy and maybe they moved away, X, Y, and Z, whatever. But over that 6 months, we've got a really good chance of them leaving you a review. Probably 50, 60% chance that they leave a review through one of those requests that we send out, as long as they're an active customer. And so, I'm looking at a business right now who has 759 reviews, and I think they have about 700 recurring customers. And so on a one-to-one basis, we're looking at like 25 to 35% right after the job. But then over the long haul, we should see a lot higher review conversion rate with all your customers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So we've got a link. It's a referral link for all PSA users. So if you use that link, reach out to PSA. We're going to give you PSA for free. So you sign up with Review Harvest, you get PSA for free. And then on your end, you said 10 days.
10-day free trial, $99 a month.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. And this is 2026 in case.
A big change.
Yeah, 10 years later. No. But
I hope people are watching this in 10 years.
But so use that link. You'll get free access to PSA, lifetime. As long as you have Review Harvest, you'll get that. Great service. Definitely the number one review service that I recommend to all scoopers out there. So that's everything for reviews, I think, unless you have anything else to add. And then I know you have some other services as well, if you want to talk about those.
Yeah, for sure. So like when people used to ask me, what else do you do? For literally like 3.5, 4 years, I said, no, that's it. We just do reviews. But just within the last 6 months, we've started to add on websites and local SEO. And so I look at ranking on Google, especially locally. I look at that as like a stool, right? There's 3 legs to the stool. And if you don't have all 3, it's really hard for Google to rank you and surface you, right? And those 3 legs are reviews, an optimized Google business profile, that's not something you just set up once and never touched again. It's something active, it's optimized, has your service descriptions on it, has all your products on it, has updating posts and photos and all that sort of stuff.
There's a little bit of a strategy to that as well, right? That a lot of people don't know unless they're kind of into it.
Sure. There's 2 really powerful things you can do that are a little bit hard to do. But one of them is adding your main keyword to your business name. So if you want to rank for poop scooping, have poop scooping in your business name. You can just add that to Google go to edit profile, change your business name, but technically it's considered keyword stuffing. And so what that means is that Google could technically change your name back. It's against their terms of service because you're stuffing a keyword in your name. However, 9 times out of 10, Google doesn't do anything. And if they do something, then you can get a DBA, a doing business as, in your area or in your state. And then you can submit that paperwork to tell Google, hey, this is actually the name of my business. And then they have to honor it, right? So that's one way you can rank really, really fast, really high for your main keywords, singular. The second thing, though, is a little bit harder, but also incredibly powerful, and it is making sure you have an address listed in the area you want to rank for. Service area businesses, meaning there's no address listed on your Google Business Profile, are a lot harder to rank right now in 2026. Google Business Profiles with an address are ranking a lot better. So those are two, like I would say, low-hanging fruit. If you just get those two things right, you're going to be kind of coasting downhill from there. All the other stuff you'll do is gravy. If you don't have those two things, you're not able to do those two things, you don't want to do those two things, then there's like 150 tiny things that should be done, and you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. It's still possible. It's just harder, especially if you're in a really competitive area. So yeah, that's kind of the strategy of the Google Business Profile. But if you have a great Google Business Profile, optimized to the T, and you have great reviews, that's good. But still, if you don't have a website or you have an awful website, your ranking's still going to suffer, because still a lot of your ranking and your local SEO juice and how you're showing up locally comes down to that website, whether it's SEO optimized, whether it has all your keywords in the headers, whether it has service area pages, service pages. You don't want just a one pager that just says, here's what we do. We have to be consistent. We have to consistently tell Google, this is what we do. These are all our services. Here's where we do it. Here's all our services in this area. And we kind of want that to correspond very closely with what we're saying is happening on the Google Business Profile, because you can list services and stuff like that there in service areas. So that's kind of the 3 legs of the stool. If you don't have one of them, it's really hard for Google to surface you. But if you have 2 of them and we just add a 3rd one on, boom, all of a sudden it's like Google knows you exist, because you can finally sit on that stool. And so it just made a lot of sense for us to add those services on. As we've grown and we've had a lot of people request them, and we're excited to kind of get them rocking and rolling. Literally for the last 3 months, I've been doing all of the delivery. So I've made every single website. I've done every single, SEO optimized homepage. I've done every single Google Business Profile optimization myself. And so I'm, SEO is kind of my background. I did it before reviews. And so I'm excited to be back in the game. We've got people some really crazy results, and I'm really excited, basically bring the same level of detail and excellence and sophistication that we brought to reviews, bring the same thing to Google Business Profile and websites.
Awesome. What's the best way for people to contact you if they're wanting a quote on our website?
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to have stuff listed in our dashboard here soon about websites, and we'll have it on the website as well. It's not on the website yet, but just go to the website, click on book a demo. You'll book a demo, and you'll be able to hop on a call with my wife, Ryan. We'll be able to help you out and kind of navigate through the process of that. The website process is, we're not charging $10,000 for a new website. These are 15 to 20 page SEO optimized websites that give you a great foundation for ranking. And, honestly, they can get started at some really affordable price points, as low as like $100 a month, just depending on where you're at. And so, and how you want to pay. And so, that's kind of the best place for it. We're not going to charge you your yearly mortgage for a website.
Yeah, 15 to 20 pages is quite a lot. So that's a pretty good deal. Some companies out there are charging $1, $2, $3 grand for, or more for that many pages. So.
And then charging a big monthly fee as well. And so we kind of just break it out to one or the other, and we can work with people on the pricing and stuff. And we're still working on all our pricing packages. But really, for me, it's like, I know that local business owners have been burned by marketing companies time and time again. And so we always come at it from a perspective of like, what's a fair trade of like, hey, we're giving you something really solid. We're making decent money and be able to make profit on it. And we can grow our company in return, because I'm here, my wife's here, we're here for the long haul. My goal is for Review Harvest to be still rocking and rolling in 15, 20, 30 years. And we're just not going to be able to last a long time by scamming people, or it'll just be exhausting to try and resell people over and over and over again. So we always come from the perspective of like, how can we just provide an insane amount of value for the price that we're charging, and hopefully create a great relationship with clients that lasts for years to come.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over with you, Clay. Kind of closing thoughts. Like I said, like everybody just knows who Clay is in the industry. So obviously, like, you're not able to do that if you're not treating people right. So if you want someone who's going to treat their clients right, not only is he going to do his best job, but it's going to be a very quality job too. So I definitely recommend Clay. Again, Clay, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it. Could do this with me, and hopefully we can really blow up the review space with all the pooper scoopers out there.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it. Brant, thanks for having me on.